Thomas and the Pigs. There are lots and lots of farms on the island of Sodor. There are farms with sheep. There are farms with cows. There are farms with goats. Thomas likes visiting all the farms. But his favorite farm of all was Farmer Trotter's pig farm. Thomas liked their curly tails and the funny noises they made. Thomas liked to visit Farmer Trotter's pig farm as often as he could. One day, Thomas was watching the pigs roll in the mud. Farmer Trotter was happy to see Thomas.
Hello, Farmer Trotter.
Hello, Thomas. I have some very special news. One of my pigs is going to have piglets today.
Thomas was excited.
I can't wait to see them.
I need some soft straw for the piglets. I'd like you to go to Farmer McCall's right now to collect it. He will be waiting for you.
Thomas was happy to help.
Yes, Farmer Trotter.
So Thomas chuffed cheerfully away with his empty flatbed. On his way to Farmer McCall's, Thomas thought about the pigs.
I'm sure the piglets will like the soft straw. I wonder if there's anything else they like.
Thomas puffed up to the dairy. He saw Percy. Thomas told Percy all about the piglets.
How exciting! I wish I could see them, but I have to deliver this milk.
Thomas looked at the milk churns. An idea flew into his funnel.
I'm sure the piglets would like some milk. May I have some?
Of course you can, Thomas.
So the milk churns were loaded onto Thomas's flatbed.
Thank you, Percy. I must go. Farmer McCall is waiting for me.
And he steamed away. Thomas felt pleased.
I wonder what else the piglets might like.
Then Thomas saw James. James was at an orchard. The trees were full of juicy red apples.
Hello, James.
Hello, Thomas.
Thomas told James all about the piglets.
The piglets will soon be born. I must collect some soft straw for them.
I wish I could see the piglets, but I have to deliver these boxes of apples to the village.
Thomas looked at the juicy red apples.
I'm sure the piglets would like some juicy red apples. May I have some?
Of course you can.
So Thomas's flatbed was loaded with lots and lots of juicy red apples.
Thank you, James. I must go. Farmer McCall is waiting for me.
Thomas chuffed quickly away. He felt very pleased.
I wonder what else the piglets might like.
Then Thomas saw some children. They were collecting shiny brown chestnuts.
Hello.
Thomas told the children all about the piglets. They were very excited.
I'm sure the piglets would like some shiny brown chestnuts to eat. Please, may I have some for them?
The children were delighted to give Thomas some of their shiny brown chestnuts.
Thank you. I must go. Farmer McCall is waiting for me.
And Thomas puffed away. He felt even more pleased. At last, Thomas chuffed to Farmer McCall's farm. Farmer McCall was waiting. He was cross.
Thomas, you're late. Where have you been?
I'm sorry, Farmer McCall. I stopped to collect some milk, some juicy red apples, and some shiny brown chestnuts for the piglets.
Farmer McCall looked at Thomas's flatbed. He saw the milk, the juicy red apples and shiny brown chestnuts.
Your flatbed is full. You have no room for straw now.
Fizzling fireboxes. I didn't think about that. I hope the piglets will like the milk, the apples, and the chestnuts just as much as straw. I must puff straight back to Farmer Trotter's. The piglets will be born soon.
So Thomas pumped his pistons and chuffed quickly away. Thomas pulled up at the farm. Farmer Trotter was waiting. He looked at Thomas's full flatbed. He was surprised.
Thomas, where's the soft straw?
I thought the piglets would like these things just as much as straw.
No, Thomas. Piglets need soft straw, and they're about to be born.
Thomas felt very silly.
I'm sorry. I'll empty my flatbed, then I'll puff back to Farmer McCall's as fast as I can. I must get the straw. There can be no delay. The piglets will need it by the end of the day.
Thomas saw Percy at the water tower.
Thomas, I know something else the piglets would like. I'm sorry, Percy. I can't stop. Bye, Thomas. I must get the straw. There can be no delay. I've no time for chatter along the way.
Next, Thomas saw James at a junction.
Hello, Thomas. I've been thinking about the piglets. I'm sure they'd like...
I'm sorry, James. I can't stop. I must get the straw. There can be no delay. I've no time for chatter along the way.
Thomas whooshed and he wheeshed. He huffed and he puffed until he arrived at Farmer McCall's farm. It was late.
Hello, Farmer McCall. Now I have plenty of room for the soft straw for the piglets. Could you load it right now?
Of course I can, Thomas.
Thank you, Farmer McCall. I must hurry.
Thomas's pistons pumped and his axles ached.
I must puff fast. There's no time for delay. The piglets need straw by the end of the day.
At last, Thomas arrived at Farmer Trotter's pig farm. It was now nearly nighttime. Thomas saw that the pigs had gone.
Cinders and ashes. I'm too late.
You're just in time, Thomas. I need that soft straw right away.
Farmer Trotter unloaded the straw from Thomas's flatbed, and he took it away to make a nice soft bed for the piglets.
The piglets have just been born.
Thomas was delighted.
Bubbling boilers. Look how small they are and how sweet.
Thomas could see the piglets really liked the soft straw.
Aw, that little piglet is looking at me.
I think I'll call him Thomas.
Thomas was so happy. His axles tingled and his boiler bubbled. The early bird. On the island of Sodor, all of the engines on Sir Topham Hatt's railway are busy. Gordon pulls the express. Percy delivers the mail. And Thomas puffs and chuffs cheerfully on his branch line. One morning, Thomas's fireman fanned his firebox ready for work. Thomas saw that his best friend Percy wasn't there.
Good morning, James. Have you seen Percy?
No, I have too much to do to see Percy.
Then, Sir Topham Hatt arrived.
Thomas, Percy has popped a piston. He has to go to the steamworks to be fixed. Percy won't be able to deliver the mail tomorrow morning. You must do it for him.
Thomas was excited. He had never delivered the mail before. He tooted his whistle loudly.
Yes, sir. I've always wanted to deliver the mail.
Make sure you do a good job, Thomas.
Of course I will, sir. Don't worry, sir.
Then, Thomas puffed proudly away to his branch line. Thomas stopped at a crossing. Gordon was there.
Percy is being fixed. Tomorrow, I'm going to deliver the mail run for him.
Percy's mail run? Have you asked Percy how to do it?
Don't worry, Gordon. I know all about delivering the mail.
Do you indeed?
Then the gate opened, and Thomas puffed quickly away. Thomas worked hard all day. That night, he went to see Percy at the steamworks. Percy didn't look happy.
Is your piston fixed, Percy? No, it's still broken. Don't worry. I'm going to do your mail run tomorrow. Thank you, Thomas. Shall I tell you what to do? I know what to do, Percy. Now, I have to go to sleep. I shall be up very early. Well, if you're sure, Thomas. Very sure, Percy. I have to go back to Tidmouth now. I need lots of sleep. Goodbye.
Percy watched as Thomas chuffed away. The next morning, Thomas woke up very early. He felt very proud to be pulling the mail trucks. There wasn't a peep to be heard as Thomas chuffed across the island. Everyone was fast asleep. First, Thomas puffed to the quarry.
I must let the quarry manager know that the mail is here.
Thomas was excited. He blew his whistle very loudly. And then he chuffed cheerfully away. Thomas hadn't seen that his loud whistle had woken up Mavis.
Who's making that noise?
Next, Thomas chuffed to the docks.
I must let the dock manager know that the mail is here.
Thomas was excited. He blew his whistle even louder. And then he chuffed cheerfully away. What Thomas hadn't seen was that his good morning whistle had woken Cranky up.
Who woke me up?
This is fun.
Lastly, Thomas steamed into the steamworks.
I must let the steamworks manager know that the mail is here.
Thomas was so excited, he blew his whistle louder than ever.
Oh.
And then he huffed happily away. What Thomas hadn't seen was that he had woken Victor and Kevin up.
Oh, what's that noise, boss?
Who knows, Kevin? Who knows? Some early bird.
Thomas worked hard all morning. Everywhere Thomas went, he blew his whistle loudly.
Delivering the mail is fun.
Soon, Thomas had delivered all the mail. It was time for him to puff back to Tidmouth Sheds for a rest. As Thomas passed through the quarry, he saw Mavis. Her freight cars were being loaded with slate. Then there was trouble. Mavis hadn't lined up her freight cars under the hopper. Slate spilled everywhere.
That's strange. Mavis never makes mistakes.
What Thomas didn't see was that Mavis was fast asleep under the hopper. That's why she had put the freight cars in the wrong place. Next, Thomas passed through the docks. Cranky was unloading some big crates from a ship. Then there was trouble. Cranky dropped the crates. They fell to the ground with a smash and a crash.
That's strange. Cranky never makes mistakes.
What Thomas didn't see was that Cranky had fallen fast asleep. That's why he had dropped the crates. Thomas pulled into Tidmouth Sheds. He wanted to tell Percy all about the mail delivery, but Percy wasn't there. Sir Topham Hatt was there. He was cross.
Someone woke Mavis up too early by tooting too loudly on their whistle. Then someone woke up Cranky at the docks and Victor at the steamworks. Now they have all made silly mistakes.
Thomas knew he had woken everyone up with his cheerful whistle. He felt terrible.
I'm very sorry, sir. It was me.
Then, Thomas, as Percy is still not fixed, you must do a better job tomorrow.
I will, sir. I promise, sir.
Then Gordon arrived. He had heard all about Thomas's trouble with the mail run.
You were right, Gordon. Delivering the mail is a hard job. I should have asked Percy what to do. And this time, I will.
That evening, Thomas visited Percy at the steamworks. He asked him all about delivering the mail, and Percy told him all about being quiet. The next morning, Thomas set off early, pulling the mail cars. He stopped at the quarry. This time, he didn't blow his whistle. He puffed very quietly so that he didn't wake Mavis. Next, Thomas stopped at the docks. He didn't blow his whistle here either. And he didn't wake Cranky up. Lastly, Thomas puffed into the steamworks. He dropped off the mail, and he didn't blow his whistle once. Victor stayed fast asleep. But Percy had woken up early to see his best friend Thomas.
Well done, Thomas. You did everything right. Thank you, Percy. Now I know the most important thing about delivering the mail. You have to do it quietly.
Percy was so happy for his friend that he wanted to toot out loud. Then he looked at Thomas. Thomas had fallen fast asleep.
Sleep well, Thomas.
And Thomas snored the sleep of an engine who had done a very good job. Steamy Sodor. All the engines on Sodor like to be really useful. They huff and they puff to do their best for Sir Topham Hatt's railway. And sometimes that means doing a job they have never done before. One morning, Sir Topham Hatt had a new job for Thomas.
Victor has to go to the transfer yards. He has to see one of the little engines. He will be away all day. You must look after the steamworks, Thomas. Victor will tell you all you need to know. Make sure you listen carefully.
Yes, sir.
Thomas was excited.
The Sodor Steamworks is one of my favorite places on the island. Today, I'm going to be in charge.
That's a very important job, Thomas. Good luck.
Thank you, Percy.
And Thomas puffed proudly away to the steamworks and his new job. Victor was waiting for Thomas at the steamworks. Thomas was very excited. His boiler bubbled and his firebox fizzed.
Hello, my friend. This is a big day for you. The steamworks will be very busy.
Not too busy for me, Victor. I like being busy.
That's good, my friend. Now, when an engine comes in, you have to listen carefully to their problem. If you need help, ask Kevin.
That's right, Thomas. When you're in a fix, look no further. Just ask Kevin. It'll save you bother.
Thank you, Kevin.
Are you listening, Thomas?
Yes, Victor.
But Thomas was too excited to listen. He wanted to get on with his very important job.
Don't worry, Victor. I know just what to do. Hurry, Victor. You'll be late for the little engines.
Very well, my friend. Good luck.
And Victor steamed away. Thomas was now in charge. Soon, Spencer steamed sulkily into the steamworks. His shiny silver paintwork was scratched and scuffed. Spencer was surprised to see Thomas.
Where's Victor?
He's away today. I'm in charge.
Spencer was worried.
Oh my, Spencer. You are in a mess. I'll check you over from wheels to whistle. Put Spencer up on the hoist, please, Kevin.
Kevin was worried.
Are you sure, boss? I mean, Thomas? I don't think Spencer needs to go on the hoist. I mean, he needs a repaint, boss.
But Thomas wasn't listening to Kevin. He was too excited. He was in charge of the steamworks.
Put Spencer up on the hoist, Kevin.
Over here, Spencer. Please, if you don't mind. Please. Thank you.
So Spencer huffed huffily to the hoist. Then Henry chuffed in. Henry wasn't well. He spluttered and stuttered. He wheezed and sneezed. Henry was surprised to see Thomas.
What are you doing here, Thomas?
Victor is away today. I'm in charge.
Henry sighed. Then he wheezed. Then he sneezed.
Footplates and fenders. I know just what's wrong with you, Henry. You have been given the wrong coal.
Henry gasped.
No, Thomas. It's not my...
But Thomas wasn't listening.
Don't worry, Henry. We'll have you puffing proudly in no time. Kevin, bring over some of Henry's special coal, please.
But what about Spencer, boss?
But Thomas wasn't listening.
Quick as you can, Kevin.
So Kevin trundled to the coal. Spencer sat sniffly by the hoist. Henry spluttered and stuttered. And Thomas felt pleased and proud.
I like being in charge of the steamworks.
Then James steamed snootily in. Straw and twigs blocked his funnel.
Why are you here, Thomas?
Victor is away today. I'm in charge. Bubbling boilers. You are in a mess. What happened to you?
I can't puff properly.
I know just what you need. Kevin,
Yes, boss. I mean, Thomas.
James needs a new funnel.
No, I don't.
But Thomas wasn't listening to James.
But what about Henry's coal and Spencer on the hoist?
Thomas wasn't listening to Kevin.
Find the spare funnel, please.
Kevin was now very confused. To find the funnel, he had to put down Henry's coal. But first, he had to raise Spencer on the hoist. It was all too much for Kevin.
Oh, dear, boss. Thomas.
Don't worry, Kevin. I'm in charge.
Then there was trouble. Kevin reeled and rolled back towards the hoist. And with a biff and a bash, he hit a big green button. That made Spencer shudder into the air.
Trembling tracks, what's happening?
Kevin gasped.
Heaving hooks. Sorry, Spencer.
Then Kevin dropped Henry's coal right in front of Henry's nose.
Bust my boiler and crashing coals.
Kevin rocked and rolled into James.
Mind my shiny red paintwork.
James was so upset, he blew the biggest puff of steam he had ever blown. All over Victor. Victor had just arrived from the transfer yards. Now he was covered from buffer to buffer in twigs, soot, and straw. Victor's wheels wobbled and his steam stuttered.
Sizzling Sodor! What has happened to my beautiful steamworks?
Thomas looked at Victor, and then at the mess and the muddle.
Cinders and ashes. This is all my fault.
No, boss. I mean, Thomas, I'm sure it's my fault. I'm sorry, boss. I did try to say, boss.
No, Kevin. It's not your fault. I didn't listen to Victor. I didn't listen to you. And I didn't listen to my friends. I was too excited and too silly.
I think, my friend, you are right. What will you do now?
I'm sorry to all of you. Now I'll listen to you, and I'll make sure you're all fixed properly.
So, Victor and Thomas went first to Spencer.
I don't need checking from wheels to whistle. I need new paint for my scuffs and scratches.
This time, Thomas listened.
Don't worry, Spencer. You'll be sparkling silver in no time.
That made Spencer very happy. Next, Victor and Thomas talked to Henry.
I have my special coal, but there's something wrong with my firebox. It makes me Wheeze and sneeze.
Don't worry, Henry. Your firebox will be cleaned. You won't wheeze and sneeze anymore.
And Thomas was right.
Pumping pistons. No more wheezes and sneezes. That's much better.
Lastly, Victor and Thomas listened to James.
I don't need a new funnel. I need my old funnel cleaned and polished.
James, you will have the most perfectly polished funnel on Sodor.
James's funnel was shining like the sun. James smiled from fender to footplate. Soon, all the engines were fixed. They were ready to be really useful again.
Well done, my friend. Time to go home.
Not quite, Victor. It's time to say thank you to Kevin.
Anytime, boss. I mean, Thomas.
And everyone laughed and laughed and laughed. Toby's new whistle. It was a bright, sunny day on the island of Sodor. All the engines chuffed cheerfully. Everyone was smiling. Everyone except Toby. Toby was at the steamworks. Toby's bell had stopped working. It was covered in rust and it didn't clang and chime anymore. It had to stay in the steamworks to be cleaned. So Toby was very sad. Victor didn't have another bell for Toby, so he had to be fitted with a new steam whistle.
Easy does it, Kevin, my friend. Left a little? No. Right a little? Perfect. Very good, my friend. How does that feel, Toby?
Toby thought the new whistle felt very strange. It was much bigger than his old bell. He was worried.
I've never used a steam whistle before.
James chuffed into the steamworks with Sir Topham Hatt.
Hello, Toby. That's a 3-chime steam whistle. I used to have one of those.
This made Toby even more worried.
Is it a good whistle?
It's the best. It is the loudest whistle in the whole of Sodor.
The loudest?
Yes, it's loud and booming. Everyone will hear you coming.
Toby didn't like this. He didn't like loud and booming noises. He liked the ting-a-ling-a-ling of his old bell.
Toby, you must go to Knapford and collect Lady Hatt. She's waiting, so don't be late.
Yes, sir.
So Toby chuffed off to Knapford Station with his new 3-chime steam whistle.
I wish I had my old bell back. I don't know how to use this new loud and booming 3-chime steam whistle.
Then an idea flew into Toby's funnel.
If I puff slowly and carefully, I won't need to use my whistle at all. I can do all my jobs and wait for my old bell to be fixed.
This made Toby feel much happier. Toby steamed slowly through Sodor. Gordon huffed and puffed impatiently behind him.
Out of my way, Toby, you old steam tram. You're making me late.
Later, some cows were on the tracks in front of Toby. He couldn't puff past them.
Go away, cows, please. I need to chuff through.
But the cows didn't take any notice of Toby. They didn't move. They were too busy mooing and chewing. Toby knew what he needed to do. He needed to blow his new steam whistle, but Toby was scared.
I don't want to use this new 3-chime steam whistle. I wish I had my little bell back.
Then another idea flew into Toby's funnel.
I know what I can do. I'll get help.
So, Toby reversed down the track to find help. Some farm workers were working in the field.
Excuse me. Hello? Hello?
The farm workers didn't hear Toby. Toby blew steam and rattled his rods. But the farm workers still didn't hear Toby. They were too far away.
Bust my buffers, they can't hear me.
Toby knew he should use his new steam whistle, but he was still too scared.
I wish I had my little bell back.
So Toby puffed on. Somewhere he had to find help. But Toby couldn't find anybody to help him. So he huffed back to the cows.
I do hope the cows have gone back to their field now.
But the cows hadn't gone back to their field. They were still mooing and chewing all over the tracks.
Oh, no!
Toby tried to biff them with his cow catcher, but they still wouldn't move.
Oh, no, Henrietta! I think we're trapped.
Then there was trouble. Toby heard a noise that made his wheels wobble.
Another engine is coming! They'll crash into the cows!
The engine steamed around the corner. It was Thomas. Thomas was racing like the wind. His firebox was fuming, and his boiler was burning brightly.
I have to tell Thomas about the cows. I'll have to use this new whistle.
Toby closed his eyes. His firebox flared. Steam blew into his new 3-chime steam whistle. It was the loudest whistle anyone had ever heard on Sodor.
What was that?
It was a 3-chime steam whistle. They're the best whistles ever. I wonder who blew that.
Thomas heard the 3-chime steam whistle.
Cinders and ashes! I must stop!
He applied his brakes. Thomas screeched and skidded. Sparks flew and tracks trembled. Toby didn't dare look.
Phew! Thank you, Toby. Your whistle told me there was trouble ahead.
Toby felt very proud.
I'm pleased I used my 3-chime steam whistle. It was even louder than my bell.
Thomas was proud of his friend Toby. Together, with their whistles and wish, Toby and Thomas moved the cows from the track. Then, Toby remembered Lady Hatt.
Fizzling fireboxes. I've forgotten all about Lady Hatt. She's waiting for me at Knapford. I must puff faster than Gordon to chuff there on time.
Don't worry, Toby. I'll puff with you. We're sure to make it together.
Thomas and Toby huffed and puffed toward Knapford Station. Suddenly, Sir Topham had arrived. He was very cross.
Toby, Lady Hatt waited for a very long time. Now Gordon is taking her home.
Toby was upset. He knew he hadn't been a really useful engine.
I'm sorry, sir.
Then, Toby stopped. He saw something ahead.
There's a fallen tree across the tracks. And Gordon is steaming straight towards it.
Oh, no!
Don't worry, sir. I know just what to do.
Toby bubbled his boiler and pumped his pistons. He blew his 3-chime steam whistle as loudly and as boomingly as he could. Gordon heard Toby's whistle. He applied his brakes and screeched to a halt.
Toby, did you blow that whistle so loudly?
Yes, I did. It was my new 3-chime steam whistle.
For a steam tram, you have a lot of puff. Thank you.
Well done, Toby.
Toby couldn't have felt more proud.
Good job, Toby.
Toby was back at the steamworks. His little bell was ready. It glistened and gleamed as if it were brand new. Toby was happy.
Bye-bye, big new steam whistle.
Victor and Kevin had heard the news that Toby had saved Thomas and Gordon.
Well, Toby, my friend, it sounds as if you had a very busy day. Did you like the new 3-chime steam whistle?
It was very useful.
You can keep it if you like, my friend.
No, thank you. My bell is the best of all.
The Lion of Sodor. It was a beautiful day on the island of Sodor. The sky was blue and the sun was shining brightly. Thomas was chuffing cheerfully to Brendam Docks. He felt very happy. Thomas had to collect a special, but he didn't know what it was.
Hello, Cranky. Is my special ready?
Yes, it is. The mayor is waiting for it at Knapford. You must puff very carefully.
Thomas was puzzled.
What is it, Cranky?
It's the Lion of Sodor.
Cinders and ashes. How exciting! I promise to take extra special care of it. I've never carried a real live lion before.
When Cranky heard this, he was surprised.
No, Thomas, the Lion of Sodor isn't a...
But Thomas was too excited to listen to Cranky. He was already puffing proudly out of the docks. Thomas puffed happily along. Then he met Henry.
Hello, Thomas. You look happy. What's your special?
It's a lion.
Bust my buffers. That's exciting. I only have sticky syrup to deliver.
Suddenly, an idea flew into Thomas's funnel.
I promised to take extra special care of my lion. I think he might really like sticky syrup. Could I have some for him, Henry?
Of course.
Thomas's engineer poured some sticky syrup into the lion's crate.
Thank you, Henry. I have to hurry now. The mayor is waiting for the Lion of Sodor.
Henry was surprised.
Fizzling fireboxes! Thomas has made a mistake! Stop, Thomas! The Lion of Sodor isn't a...
But Thomas didn't stop, and he didn't listen. Next, Thomas met Edward.
Hello, Thomas. You look happy. What's your special?
It's a lion.
Flatten my funnel. How exciting. I only have to deliver fresh fish.
I think my lion would really like fresh fish. May I have some for him, Edward?
Of course.
So Thomas's driver put some fresh fish into the lion's crate.
Thank you, Edward. I must hurry now. The mayor is waiting for the Lion of Sodor.
Edward was surprised.
Clattering coaches. Stop, Thomas! The Lion of Sodor isn't a...
But Thomas didn't stop, and he didn't listen. Then Thomas saw Toby.
Hello, Thomas. You look happy. What's your special?
It's a lion.
Buff my boiler, how exciting. I only have straw in my freight cars.
I'm sure my lion would really like some soft straw to lie on. May I have some for him, Toby?
Of course.
So Thomas's driver put some soft straw into the lion's crate.
Thank you, Toby. I really have to hurry. The mayor will be waiting for the Lion of Sodor.
Toby was surprised.
Uh-oh, trembling trucks. Stop, Thomas! The Lion of Sodor isn't a...
But Thomas didn't stop, and he didn't listen. Thomas's pistons pumped and his wheels whirred. He couldn't wait to deliver his lion. He chuffed his hardest and raced on towards Knapford Station. At last, Thomas puffed proudly into Knapford. Sir Topham Hatt was there. So were the other engines.
I'm very excited, Thomas.
This is a big day. The Lion of Sodor is here.
Thomas was uncoupled from the flatbed, and he pulled away to join the other engines. The workmen carefully opened the lion's crate. Then the engines gasped. The Lion of Sodor wasn't a real lion at all. It was a statue. And now it was covered in sticky syrup, fresh fish, and straw. Sir Topham Hatt was cross.
Thomas, this is a terrible mess.
Gordon and James laughed, and Thomas felt very silly.
I'm sorry. I thought I had a real lion in my crate. I wanted to take extra special care of it. I didn't know the Lion of Sodor was a statue.
So Sir Topham Hatt told Thomas all about the Lion of Sodor, and the other engines listened carefully.
So you see, Thomas, it was the most famous statue on Sodor. Then it broke. This is the shiny new statue we have been waiting for. The mayor is coming at tea time, and now look at it.
I'll make sure it's clean, sir. I promise the Lion of Sodor will be shiny and new again in no time.
Very well, Thomas.
Thomas still felt very silly.
Cheer up, Thomas. I didn't know the Lion of Sodor was a statue either.
It all happened a long, long time ago. Not many engines remember that time. We tried to tell you, but you didn't stop.
I'm sorry, Henry. I should have listened. Now I must hurry. I must get the Lion of Sodor cleaned right away.
Why don't you take it to the washdown?
This time, Thomas listened.
What a good idea! Thank you, Henry.
Thomas was coupled to the flatbed and he chuffed quickly away. Thomas took the Lion of Sodor to the washdown. Soon, the sticky mess was washed off.
That looks much better, Thomas.
But now the statue isn't shiny.
Take it to the steamworks, Thomas. They'll polish it until it sparkles and shines.
This time, Thomas listened.
Thank you, Edward. That's a very good idea. Victor will know just what to do.
And Thomas puffed quickly away. Thomas took the Lion of Sodor to the steamworks. Workmen polished the statue until it shined and sparkled, just as Edward had said.
The Lion of Sodor looks much better now, Thomas.
But it's nearly tea time. The mayor will soon be at Knapford, and it's a long way.
Take the track by the windmill. That'll get you there in time.
This time, Thomas listened.
Thank you, Toby. That's a good idea.
Thomas took the shortcut past the windmill. He huffed and puffed as fast as his pistons could pump towards Knapford. Children cheered and passengers waved as Thomas chuffed by. Everyone wanted to see the Lion of Sodor, and everyone wanted Thomas to stop.
I can't stop now. I mustn't be late. The mayor will be at Knapford, and he won't wait.
And Thomas whooshed on his way. Thomas puffed proudly into Knapford Station. The mayor had just arrived. He was delighted to see the new Lion of Sodor. The statue shined and sparkled in the sun.
Well done, Thomas. This is the finest statue I've ever seen.
And the cleanest!
Everyone cheered. And Thomas smiled from footplate to fender. Buzzy Bees. It was a fine summer morning on the island of Sodor. The sun was shining, the birds sang. The flowers bloomed, and Thomas clickety-clacked along the track to Brendam Docks. Thomas's good friend Hero was unloading at Brendam Docks.
Good morning, Hero. Sir Topham Hatt tells me I have a special today for Farmer Trotter.
Good morning, my friend. Yes, you do. Look.
Thomas gasped.
Flatten my funnel. They look like small white wooden houses. Who lives in them?
Bees, my good friend. Lots and lots of bees. Their houses are called hives. Inside the hives, the bees are very busy making honey.
This made Thomas excited.
Sir Topham Hatt always has honey on his crumpets. I'll puff as fast as I can to deliver the beehives to Farmer Trotter.
Suddenly, Hero was stern.
Thomas, chuff slowly and smoothly. Take the track through the woods. Then the bees will rest. You have to look after bees very carefully.
Don't worry, Hero. I will. They'll be happy with me.
Hero smiled.
Very well. I have to deliver these crates. Then I must pick up some flowers from Farmer McCall. I will visit the bees when I've finished.
Hero steamed slowly away. Thomas was coupled up to the beehives.
Off we go, bees.
Thomas puffed proudly to a junction. Ahead, he saw the track through the woods. The other track ran past a field, full of flowers and bright sunshine.
The field with flowers is much prettier than the woods. I'm sure the bees would like that better.
So, Thomas didn't take the track through the wood as Hero had told him to. Thomas huffed happily along.
Buzzy bees are busy bees, and busy bees make honey. Buzzy bees are happy bees when it's warm and sunny.
Suddenly, there was a buzzing and a bizzing. Thomas applied his brakes.
Bust my buffers, what's that?
Thomas looked over to the field. His bees were everywhere. They buzzed busily, flying from flower to flower. Thomas was surprised.
Oh, no. Come back, bees! Come back to your hives!
The bees weren't listening to Thomas. They were too busy buzzing in the field. Thomas tried again.
Please come back, bees. We'll be late for Farmer Trotter.
But still, the bees weren't listening to Thomas.
Fizzling fireboxes. I can't take the beehives to Farmer Trotter empty.
Then, an idea flew into Thomas's funnel.
The bees like flowers. I will chuff my hardest to Farmer McCall's and pick up the flatbed of flowers. Then, the bees will buzz around my flowers and back to their hives.
So, Thomas was uncoupled from his flatbed. Then he steamed swiftly away. Thomas arrived at Farmer McCall's farm. He saw the flatbed of flowers.
I'm sure Hero won't mind if I borrow his flowers. I'll bring them back as soon as the bees are in their hives again.
And Thomas huffed happily back to the field. The bees were still buzzing busily from flower to flower in the field. Then they saw Thomas's flowery flatbed. The buzzy bees left the field and buzzed all around Thomas. They flew into his funnel. They buzzed his boiler and whizzed his wheels.
Trembling tracks! This flatbed of flowers wasn't a good idea. Go away, bees, please! Buzz into your hives and make honey.
But the bees weren't listening to Thomas. They were too busy buzzing.
I must race like the wind. Then maybe the bees will be blown off my buffers and fly back to their hives.
So Thomas pumped his pistons and raced away. But the bees didn't mind the wind on their wings. They flew round Thomas like a buzzing cloud. Thomas chuffed and puffed to a siding.
Very well, bees. If you won't leave me, I will leave you.
Thomas was uncoupled from his flatbed of flowers, and he clickety-clacked away down the track.
Now the buzzy bees won't bother me. They're too busy making honey for Sir Topham Hatt's tea.
Thomas chuffed to a junction. Hero was there. Thomas was surprised to see his friend.
Hello, Hero. You look puzzled.
I am Thomas. Farmer McCall's flowers have disappeared, and you have still not delivered the bees to Farmer Trotter. He's waiting and worried.
Thomas looked at his wise friend Hero. He hadn't looked after the bees. He hadn't looked after their hives, and he hadn't taken the woodland track. But he had taken Hero's flowers.
Hero, I have been very silly. I have been everything you told me not to be. But now, I will do everything you told me to do. Please wait for me here. I will bring you back your flowers.
Thomas's wheels started to whir, and his boiler started to bubble. Thomas had a lot to do. Thomas puffed back to the flatbed of flowers. The bees were still buzzing, but Thomas didn't mind.
Follow me, bees. I'll take you back to your hives.
And Thomas wheeshed away to the flatbed of beehives.
Farmer Trotter is waiting for you, bees. You will like living on his farm.
Then Thomas chuffed carefully away and took the track through the woods. The woods were deep and dark. The bees felt cold.
It's time to go home, all you busy bees. It's time to make honey in the shade of the trees.
And the busy bees buzzed into their hives. Farmer Trotter was waiting for Thomas. He was very pleased to see his new beehives.
Thank you, Thomas. But why have you brought me all those flowers?
They're not for you, Farmer Trotter. Hero is waiting for these. I must hurry.
Thomas pumped his pistons and puffed down the track. Hero was waiting for Thomas.
So, my good friend, here are my flowers.
I'm sorry, Hero. You will be late, I know. But from these flowers, Farmer Trotter will have the best honey on Sodor.
The two friends smiled. It had been a very busy, buzzy day. Splish, splash, splosh. It had been raining and pouring on the island of Sodor. The engines were splattered and sploshed with mud. Thomas liked the rain. It splish-splashed on his boiler and pitter-pattered on his paintwork. Thomas and Rosie had biffed and bashed all day at the shunting yards. Now it was time to go.
Come on, Rosie. I'll race you to Tidmouth Sheds.
The two friends puffed along the tracks, straight through a very big puddle. Thomas and Rosie were splashed from footplate to fender in muddy rainwater.
That was fun.
Then, an idea flew into Thomas's funnel. Thomas reversed slowly. Then he pumped his pistons.
Here I come, Rosie. Splish, splash, splosh!
That's a good game. Here I come, Thomas. Splish, splash, splosh!
Muddy water splattered everywhere. Then Sir Topham had arrived. He had some important news.
Alicia Botti is to sing at a concert in the town hall. The concert will be followed by a grand tea.
That's exciting.
What fun!
Thomas, you must go straight to the washdown. Then you are to collect Miss Botti and myself from Dryaw Station. We will be waiting for you.
Yes, sir.
Rosie, you must collect Annie and Clarabelle and take them to Dryaw for Thomas.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
See you later, Rosie.
And Thomas and Rosie chuffed quickly away. Thomas pulled up at the junction to the washdown. He saw a very big puddle on the other track. Charlie was waiting right by it. He was very muddy.
Splashing Rosie was such good fun. I'm sure Charlie would like my game too. And I'm sure I have time for another puddle before the washdown.
So, Thomas didn't take the track to the washdown. He took the track through the middle of the very big puddle.
Here I come, Charlie! Splish, splash, Splosh!
Bust my buffers. That's a good game.
Thomas huffed happily on.
Hooray! This is fun.
Now, Thomas wanted to find more puddles. He couldn't wait to play his game with other engines. At the next junction, Thomas waited to chuff left to the washdown. Then, he saw a very big puddle on the right track. Emily was waiting.
Emily's muddy already. I'm sure she'd like my game, and I'm sure I have time for another puddle before the washdown. Here I come, Emily! Splish, splash, splash!
Muddy rainwater had splooshed all over Emily, and all over Emily's flower cars.
Fizzling fireboxes! I have to take this flour to the bakery to make the cakes for Alicia Body's tea. Now Thomas has ruined it.
Thomas didn't know he had splashed Emily's flower cars.
This is fun. Splish, splash, splosh. I'll soon need a wash.
And Thomas chuffed on, chuckling. At the next junction, Thomas waited to chuff to the washdown. Then he saw a very big puddle right beside James.
James is muddy already. I'm sure he'd like my game, and I'm sure I have time for just one more puddle before the washdown. Here I come, James! Splish, splash, splosh!
And Thomas steamed away laughing. Muddy rainwater had splooshed all over James, and all over the ripe strawberries on his flatbed.
Blistering boilers! These strawberries were for Alicia Bottie's cakes. Now they're ruined.
Thomas didn't know he had splashed James's strawberries.
This is fun! Splish, splash, splosh! I'll soon need a wash!
And Thomas puffed on happily. Thomas chuffed up to the next junction. Now it was getting late.
I know there'll be a very big puddle along the track by the river. I'm sure I have time for one last puddle before the washdown.
So Thomas took the left track that went along the river. Ahead of him was a very big puddle.
My! This is the biggest puddle ever! Here I come! Splish, splash, splosh!
Then there was trouble. Muddy water flew high into the air and splooshed down all over Alicia Botti and Sir Topham Hatt.
Thomas!
Thomas screeched to a stop and reversed slowly. He saw that he had splish, splash, sploshed Alicia Botti and Sir Topham Hatt.
Cinders and ashes!
Look what you've done to Miss Bottie. She's soaked. Also, Thomas, I hear from the dairy manager that you ruined the flour and strawberries for Miss Bottie's grand tea. This is a disaster.
Thomas felt terrible. He tried to puff forward, but he couldn't.
Oh, no.
The big puddle had put out his firebox.
This game isn't fun anymore. It's all gone wrong.
Then, Thomas heard Rosie's whistle.
Rosie, please help me. I've splish, splash, sploshed into trouble.
Oh, dear, Thomas. Of course I will. Don't worry.
Rosie heaved and huffed Thomas onto dry tracks.
With my dry coal, Thomas, your boiler will soon be bubbling.
Thank you, Rosie. Now, I can't go to collect Sir Topham Hatt and Alicia Botti. Would you take my special for me?
Of course I will. I'll go right away.
Later, Thomas was once more steaming happily. He pulled up at a junction. There was a very big puddle on the right track.
Look at that big puddle. It's perfect for splish, splash, sploshing. No, I'm not going to splish, splash, splosh anymore. I must make sure that Alicia Botti's grand tea is on time.
and Thomas puffed along the left track to the bakery and away from the big puddle. Thomas arrived just as James and Emily had delivered fresh strawberries and flour to the bakery.
Your silly game means we'll be late for the concert.
No, you won't. I'll wait here for the cakes. Then I'll deliver them. You can go to the washdown, then you'll both be clean for the concert.
Thank you, Thomas.
Now I'll be shiny and best, and gleam more than the rest.
Thomas puffed in with the fresh strawberry cakes for the grand tea.
You're just in time, Thomas.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry I caused confusion and delay.
Rosie puffed up to Thomas.
I found another puddle. It's perfect for our game. We can play again.
No thank you, Rosie. I think I've done enough splish, splash, sploshing for one day.
Percy's Parcel. It was a beautiful day on the island of Sodor. The sun was shining in a bright blue sky, and all the engines were very excited. There was to be a special party. It was Sir Topham Hatt's mother's birthday. Sir Topham Hatt arrived at Tidmouth Sheds. He had a special for Thomas.
Thomas, you are to collect passengers for the party from Brendam Docks.
Thomas was excited.
Yes, sir.
Percy hoped that Sir Topham Hatt had a special for him, but he didn't.
Don't worry, Percy. I'm sure you'll have a special later.
But Percy still felt sad. Mavis rolled by and stopped. She could see Percy was unhappy.
What's wrong, Percy?
I don't have a special. Everybody else does.
Don't worry, Percy. I'm sure Sir Topham Hatt will come back with a special just for you. And when he does, be sure to tell me all about it.
Just then, Sir Topham Hatt did come back. Percy was surprised.
Percy, you have the most important special of all. You must collect my mother's special birthday parcel from Brendam Docks. Then you must deliver it to the birthday party at Knapford Station.
Percy beamed from buffer to buffer.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Percy was excited. Mavis was right. Percy puffed into Brendam Docks. He gasped. The parcel was the most special parcel he had ever seen. Percy was so proud his firebox fizzed.
I must show Mavis straight away. She will be very proud of me.
Thomas was at Brendam. He was pleased for his friend.
Percy, you have the most important special of all.
I know. I'm going to show Mavis my special straight away.
But don't you have to go to Knapford Station?
Percy didn't want to listen to Thomas.
I have plenty of time to puff to Knapford. First, I will show Mavis my special.
So, Percy set off for the quarry as quickly as he could puff. Percy steamed into the quarry. He looked for Mavis. Mavis was busy. Rocky was loading heavy crates onto freight cars, and Mavis was shunting them. It was hard work.
Hello, Mavis.
Hello, Percy.
Look at my special.
I'm sorry, Percy. I can't stop now. I'm too busy.
Don't worry, Mavis. I'll wait.
Look out, Percy!
But it was too late.
Oh, no!
Rocky dropped his heavy load of slate. Everyone was lost in a thick black cloud of slate dust. At last, the dust cleared. Mavis, Rocky, and Percy were covered in thick gray dust, and so was Percy's special. Percy was upset.
Bubbling boilers! Look at the birthday parcel! What am I going to do?
Percy thought as hard as he could. At last, an idea flew into his funnel.
I'll go to the washdown. My special will be clean there as good as new.
Percy, shouldn't you go straight to the party at Knapford?
Percy didn't want to listen to Rocky.
I'll go to Knapford Station as soon as I've shown Mavis my special. I still have plenty of time.
So, Percy steamed quickly away. Percy huffed and puffed to the washdown. James was already there having a polish.
My, Percy, whatever happened to you?
Percy felt very silly.
I'd like a very good wash, please.
The workmen got straight to work. Water and soapy bubbles sprayed everywhere. Soon, Percy was gleaming green again. But his special looked terrible.
Bubbling boilers! The birthday parcel is wetter than wet! What am I going to do?
Percy thought as quickly as he could. At last, another idea flew into his funnel.
I'll take my special to the Sodor Steamworks. Victor will help me. His hot air blowers will dry the birthday parcel.
Percy, shouldn't you go straight to the party at Knapford?
Percy didn't want to listen to James.
I'll go to Knapford Station as soon as I've shown Mavis my special. I'm sure I still have plenty of time.
And Percy chuffed quickly away. Percy raced like the wind to the steamworks. Percy looked for Victor at the steamworks. He couldn't find him anywhere. But he did find a workman.
I'd like to be dried as quickly as you can, please.
The workman was happy to help. Hot air whooshed and whirred all over Percy and all over his special. Soon the workman had finished. Percy felt very pleased until he saw the birthday parcel.
Wobbling wheels! It's all crinkled and crumpled. What am I going to do?
Percy thought as hard as he could, but this time, no ideas flew into his funnel at all. So Percy steamed sadly away. Percy clickety-clacked slowly along the track. Now he didn't want to show Mavis his special. He had spoiled Sir Topham Hatt's mother's birthday parcel, and he couldn't go to the party at Knapford now. Percy didn't want anyone to see him, so he chuffed into a siding to hide. He felt terrible. Then he heard Mavis and Edward chuff to the junction.
Hello, Mavis. You look happy.
I am. I've just picked up these brand new crates.
Suddenly, Percy stopped feeling sad, and he started to listen very carefully.
Brand new crates?
Victor had just delivered them to the steamworks. I've never pulled brand new crates before. Goodbye, Edward.
A brand new crate is just what I need.
Percy pumped his pistons and puffed away to the steamworks.
Hello, Victor.
Hello, my friend. How can I help you?
I've just seen Mavis with brand new crates. May I have one, please?
Well, what for?
To put my birthday parcel in.
Well, of course you can, Percy.
That made Percy very happy.
Thank you, Victor.
Soon, a new bright red crate was sitting on Percy's flatbed.
This will be the grandest parcel Sir Topham Hatt's mother has ever been given. I must hurry now. Everyone will be waiting. Thank you, Victor.
And Percy puffed proudly out of the steamworks. Sir Topham Hatt and his mother were waiting at Knapford Station. Sir Topham Hatt was cross. Then Percy puffed in. The brand new bright red birthday parcel looked wonderful. Everyone cheered.
Happy birthday, ma'am. Here's your very special birthday present.
Sir Topham Hatt's mother beamed, and even Sir Topham Hatt smiled. As the workmen opened the crate, everyone wanted to see what the present was. Sir Topham Hatt's mother was most excited of all. Then everyone gasped. It was a beautiful portrait of Sir Topham Hatt's mother.
Oh, my Bertram! What a wonderful surprise! I'm very happy.
That's the most special I've ever seen, Percy.
Percy smiled from footplate to fender. He was sure he was the happiest engine of Henry's good deeds. There are lots of beautiful birds on the island of Sodor. The engines know their names and their songs. One day, the engines were especially excited. A new bird had been seen on the island. Sir Topham Hatt arrived at Tidmouth Sheds. He had important news.
The Sodor warbler has arrived back on the island. Very few people have ever seen this bird, so a lot of visitors will be coming to our island. You will all be very busy taking them to spot the bird. Remember your passenger cars at all times, and remember not to frighten the warbler.
Henry was worried for the warbler.
Do you think the Sodor warbler will be scared of engines?
No, Henry, not if you're really useful, and I need you to be really useful.
Yes, sir.
You must deliver a nesting pole to Bluff's Cove.
Percy was puzzled.
What's a nesting pole? It's a tall pole with a shelf on top. Birds build their nests on it.
Percy liked this idea.
Do you understand, Henry?
Yes, sir. I will deliver the pole straight away.
Good. We hope the Sodor warbler will make its home here once more.
That's a very exciting special, Henry.
Henry was happy. He puffed away proudly. Later, Henry clickety-clacked along the track. Ahead, he could see Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle. Thomas had stopped.
That's strange.
Henry shoved slowly up to Thomas.
Is anything wrong, Thomas?
No, Henry. I'm letting Farmer McCall cross with his sheep.
Henry could see the sheep tripping and tapping across the tracks.
Thomas, you helped me. That's a good deed. Well done.
You're welcome, Farmer McCall.
Thomas chuffed away cheerfully. Henry puffed and puzzled.
I would like to help someone. They will call it a good deed, and they will say, "Well done, Henry."
This made Henry feel very happy.
I'm sure I can deliver the nesting pole and do good deeds.
So Henry huffed happily on. Soon, Henry saw Farmer Trotter's pink pigs. They were snuffling and sniffing sadly at the side of the track.
Those pigs don't look very happy.
Then, Henry saw that the pigs were looking at the muddy field on the other side of the tracks.
I know what's wrong. Those pigs want to roll in the muddy field. If I stop here, those pigs can cross safely. They won't be scared anymore.
So, Henry stopped, and the pigs tripped and trotted across the tracks. Soon, the pigs weren't pink anymore. They were brown, muddy, and very happy. Farmer Trotter wasn't happy at all.
I wanted pink pigs to take to the county fair.
Henry was sorry.
Oh dear, Farmer Trotter is cross. I didn't help at all.
Suddenly, an idea flew into Henry's funnel.
I'll reverse back down the track. Then the pigs will have more room to cross.
Henry pumped his pistons. His wheels whirred. He puffed steam and he chuffed backwards.
This should help, Farmer Trotter.
But it didn't help. The pigs were scared by Henry's steam and the whir of his wheels. They scattered and clattered into the apple crates. The apples rolled everywhere. This made the pigs very happy. They munched and scrunched the rosy red apples. But now they wouldn't move from the tracks. That made Farmer Trotter even more cross.
Bust my buffers. My idea wasn't a good deed at all.
Just then, Thomas puffed up on the down line. Annie and Clarabelle were full of visitors to see the Sodor warbler.
Cinders and ashes. How am I going to puff through? The Sodor warbler has been spotted in the fenland fields. I'm in a hurry.
I'm sorry, Thomas. I was trying to help Farmer Trotter. I'm sure I can help you. I'll take your visitors to the fenland fields. We'll be there in good time.
Thomas thought this was a good idea.
Thank you, Henry.
The visitors were surprised. They stepped and scurried through the pigs to Henry's passenger car. Henry felt pleased.
I'm sure this is a good deed, and I'm sure I still have time to deliver the nesting pole.
Henry puffed and huffed his hardest all the way to the Fenland fields.
Here we are. Watch out for the warbler.
The visitors were very excited. They opened the carriage doors carefully. They didn't want to scare the Sodor warbler away. Henry felt very happy.
At last, I've been helpful. I've done a good deed.
Henry tooted a loud goodbye. Then there was trouble. A colorful bird flapped and flew from a tree high into the sky and away. It was the Sodor warbler. The visitors moaned and groaned.
Fizzling fireboxes. The bird was scared of my loud whistle.
Henry steamed sadly away.
I wanted to help the pigs. I wanted to help Farmer Trotter. I wanted to help the visitors. But I haven't helped anybody. I've done no good deeds. And I haven't delivered the nesting pole.
Henry felt terrible. Henry huffed towards Bluff's Cove. He had to deliver the nesting pole.
I don't think anyone is ever going to say, "Well done, Henry," to me.
Henry waited at a junction. His wheels wobbled with worry.
Now I'm sure I'll be late with the nesting pole. Sir Topham Hatt will be cross with me. Oh dear, oh dear.
Suddenly, a colorful bird flew from a tree. Henry was too sad to smile at the bird. The bird landed on Henry's buffer.
At least I can give that bird a rest and a ride.
So, Henry and the beautiful bird chuffed on towards Bluff's Cove. Henry puffed to the halt. A lot of visitors were waiting. They were hoping to see the Sodor warbler.
I hope they'll be pleased that I have delivered the nesting pole.
But the visitors weren't just pleased. They were amazed. They smiled and pointed and took out their cameras. Henry was surprised.
Oh, the visitors seem very pleased to see me. I can't think why. After all, no one has said, "Well done, Henry."
Well done, Henry. You have brought the Sodor warbler to us. Hooray for Henry!
Henry blinked and blushed.
The bird I carried on my buffer was the Sodor warbler.
Then Thomas arrived with more visitors.
Well done, Henry.
Henry was so proud, his firebox fizzed and his boiler bubbled.
And this time, I wasn't even trying to do a good deed.
Soon the nesting pole was up. The Sodor warbler looked snug and sleepy in its nest at the top.
I think our friend likes its new home. Welcome home, Mr. Warbler.
And well done, Henry.
Double trouble. All the engines were very excited. They chuffed cheerfully and chattered as they clattered along the tracks. Today was Sir Topham Hatt's birthday, and there was to be the grandest birthday party on Sodor. Thomas had a very special. He was to pick up Sir Topham Hatt and Lady Hatt for the party. As Thomas approached Maithwaite Station, he gasped. Ahead, he could see Sir Topham Hatt already on the platform.
Cinders and ashes, I must be late.
Thomas pulled into the station. He was worried.
I'm sorry, sir. I thought I was early.
Sir Topham Hatt turned around. Thomas gasped. Sir Topham Hatt had a mustache. Thomas was so surprised he nearly popped a piston.
Thomas, my good friend, you're looking perfectly polished today.
Thank you, sir.
Sir Topham Hatt chuckled so loudly his top hat wobbled. Thomas was puzzled. Sir Topham Hatt never chuckled so loudly that his top hat wobbled, and Sir Topham Hatt never called Thomas his good friend.
I know, Thomas. Let's go to the Whispering Woods. It's one of my favorite spots. We have plenty of time before the party. All aboard!
Now Thomas was even more puzzled. He wanted to ask about Sir Topham Hatt's new mustache and why he was acting so strangely. But Thomas didn't want to look silly, so he decided not to ask. Thomas pulled away from Maithwaite Station and chuffed towards the Whispering Woods. Thomas puffed up to the Whispering Woods. Edward was there. Edward had brought children to visit the woods. Then he was to take them to the party.
Hello, Edward.
Hello, Thomas. You look worried.
Thomas was worried, but before he could explain, Sir Topham Hatt climbed down.
Marvelous! What fun!
Please, sir, we can't stay long. The children mustn't be late for the party.
Oh, party smarty, Thomas. We have plenty of time. You worry too much.
And Sir Topham Hatt strode off.
Hello, children. Who'd like a game of hide and seek?
Did Sir Topham Hatt say a game of hide and seek?
Yes, he did.
And Thomas's wheels wobbled with worry. Sir Topham Hatt played hide and seek for a long time. He was very happy. So were the children. Edward was puzzled.
Sir Topham Hatt never plays hide and seek.
I know.
And what's that on his face?
A mustache. It just appeared. Today, Sir Topham Hatt doesn't seem like Sir Topham Hatt at all.
Just then, Sir Topham Hatt came back. Thomas wanted to ask him if he was feeling all right, but he didn't want to look silly. Thomas knew that silly engines weren't really useful engines, so he didn't ask any questions.
We must hurry now, sir. We'll be late.
And so will the children.
But Sir Topham Hatt wasn't worried.
Don't hurry the children, Edward. Let them play.
Edward was so surprised his boiler bubbled. Then Sir Topham Hatt jumped aboard Annie and waved to all the children. Thomas's wheels clickety-clacked. He puffed and he huffed along the track. He knew they were late for the party. Thomas stopped at the junction. Suddenly, Sir Topham Hatt jumped out of Annie and climbed up to the signal box.
I won't be a moment, Thomas.
Thomas was amazed. So was the signalman. Sir Topham Hatt never came into his signal box.
Hello there. May I have a turn?
Thomas looked up. He saw Sir Topham Hatt pull a lever. Then Thomas heard Gordon's whistle.
Cinders and ashes. Here comes Gordon.
Gordon had all the important visitors aboard the express. He was taking them to the party. With a clang and a clatter, the points changed. Gordon and the express were no longer on the express track. They were now on a branch line heading away from the party. Thomas heard Sir Topham Hatt whoop for joy.
Hooray!
Fizzling fireboxes. I must ask Sir Topham Hatt why he's being so strange.
But when Sir Topham Hatt came down from the signal box, Thomas didn't say anything. He still didn't want to look silly.
What fun! All aboard, Thomas!
Thomas raced towards Maithwaite. Lady Hatt would be waiting. They were very late. Thomas was worried.
First, Sir Topham Hatt had a mustache. Next, he wanted to play hide-and-seek with the children. Then he sent Gordon off the express line and away from the party. Sir Topham Hatt is acting very strangely indeed.
Thomas puffed into Maithwaite. The station master was cross.
Thomas, you're late. Sir Topham and Lady Hatt had to go to the party and Bertie the bus. But Bertie hasn't arrived at the party. Neither have the children or the very important visitors.
Thomas was puzzled.
If Sir Topham Hatt is on Bertie, then who's on board Annie?
Just then, Thomas's passengers stepped down. Thomas knew he had to ask a question he hadn't asked before, even if he looked silly.
Excuse me, Sir Topham. You don't quite seem yourself today. Is everything all right?
Thomas's passenger beamed brightly.
Yes, Thomas, but I'm not Sir Topham Hatt. I'm Sir Loam Hatt, Sir Topham's brother.
Thomas was amazed. That explained everything. But he wished now that he had asked his question earlier. Now there was no time to waste if he wanted to be a really useful engine.
Bertie must have broken down. We must find him right away.
Sir Topham Hatt's brother was very excited.
Hooray! Another game of hide and seek!
Now Thomas was stern.
No, Sir Loam Hat. I have to work hard and quickly. Otherwise, your brother's party will be spoiled.
So Loam boarded Annie, and Thomas puffed away. Thomas found Bertie the bus. Smoke billowed from his engine. Bertie looked very unhappy. So did Sir Topham and Lady Hatt.
Thomas, where have you been?
Just then, Sir Topham Hatt's brother stepped down from Annie. Sir Topham Hatt sighed.
Oh, no, Loam. Have you been up to your old tricks again? Absolutely right, Topham. I've been having a wonderful time with Thomas.
Sir Topham Hatt didn't think this was funny at all.
Loam, you have caused confusion and delay. We must hurry.
Thomas delivered Sir Topham Hatt, his brother, and Lady Hatt to the party just in time. The party looked grand. But Thomas couldn't stay. He had work to do. First, Thomas chuffed to the Whispering Woods. Edward was very happy to see Thomas.
Go straight to the party with the children, Edward. Sir Topham Hatt is waiting. It was his brother, Sir Loam, who was playing hide and seek.
Next, Thomas found Gordon. Gordon was huffing and puffing as slowly as a snail down a rickety branch line.
Ugh, the indignity.
Hurry, Gordon, to the next express line. Race like a rocket to the party.
That made Gordon very happy. At last, Thomas chuffed back to the party. Edward and Gordon were already there.
What a wonderful party!
And it was. Everyone was laughing. Then Thomas and his friends heard something very extraordinary. Sir Topham Hatt chuckled even louder than his brother. And that made Thomas happiest of all. Thomas and the Runaway Kite. It was a bright blue morning on the island of Sodor. It was the day of the Sodor Kite Festival. Soon the sky would be full of kites of all shapes and colors. The engines were very excited about the Kite Festival. Thomas was the most excited of all because Thomas liked kites best of all. Thomas puffed into Brendam Docks. He had a very special. He was to collect the winner's cup for the Kite Festival. Thomas gasped when he saw the cup.
Oh my! That's the most beautiful cup I've ever seen!
Thomas, you must deliver the winner's cup to Knapford Station. Lady Hatt will give it to the winner at tea time.
Thomas beamed from buffer to buffer.
Yes, sir. I will chuff straight there.
Thomas puffed proudly. He wanted everyone to see that he was pulling the winner's cup. Thomas pulled up to a junction. High in the sky, above the treetops, he saw a kite.
Fizzling fireboxes. What a wonderful kite. I hope I will see it again.
Thomas huffed and chuffed to the top of Gordon's Hill. Then he gasped.
There's that wonderful kite again.
The kite belonged to Sir Topham Hatt's grandchildren. They wanted to win the cup at the Kite Festival. Charlie puffed up.
Look at that kite swoop through the air!
Look, there's Thomas!
Suddenly, a gust of wind pulled at the kite. The kite flew up, and away. Sir Topham Hatt's grandchildren watched. They were very sad. Thomas wanted to help them.
Don't be sad. I'll chase after your kite and bring it back to you.
This made the children very happy.
I'm the fastest engine on Sodor. I can catch up with your kite.
I'll help you, Thomas.
No, thank you, Charlie. I'm much faster than you. I can chase this kite all by myself.
So, Thomas didn't go straight to Knapford with the winner's cup. He chuffed off, chasing Sir Topham Hatt's grandchildren's runaway kite. The wind blew the kite far down the tracks. Thomas whooshed and wheeshed. His boiler bubbled. His coal crackled.
I must keep up with the runaway kite. I'll puff and I'll huff with all of my might. I'm the fastest engine on Sodor.
Then the wind blew the kite out of sight.
Where has the kite gone?
Hello, Thomas. You're huffing hard.
Hello, Edward. I'm chasing Sir Topham Hatt's grandchildren's kite.
How exciting. Can I help?
No, thank you, Edward. I'm the fastest engine on Sodor. I can chase their kite all by myself.
At last, Thomas caught up with the kite. He was excited. Then, the wind blew the kite another way.
Cinders and ashes, come back, Mr. Kite, please.
Thomas chased and raced.
I must keep up with the runaway kite. I'll puff and I'll huff with all of my might. I'm the fastest engine on Sodor.
Then, the wind blew the kite up over the bridge. Emily was on the bridge. She saw the kite. She was surprised.
Hello, Thomas. Are you chasing that kite?
Yes, Emily. It is blown away from Sir Topham Hatt's grandchildren. I've promised I'll catch it.
Can I help?
No, thank you, Emily. I'm the fastest engine on Sodor. I can chase it all by myself.
And Thomas whooshed on under the bridge. Thomas clattered and clacked.
I must keep up with the runaway kite. I'll puff and I'll huff with all of my might. I'm the fastest engine on Sodor. What's wrong, Thomas? Your cheeks are as red as James's boiler. I'm chasing that kite. Let me help. I can chase it with you. No, thank you. I can chase this kite all by myself. I'm the fastest engine on Sodor.
So, Percy chuffed off, and Thomas puffed on. At last, the wind dropped. The kite landed in front of Thomas near a junction. Thomas was pleased.
Bubbling boilers, I've caught up with you now, Mr. Kite.
Thomas whooshed across the junction towards the kite. Then there was trouble. Thomas started juddering and jittering. The flame in Thomas's firebox flickered and fizzled out. Thomas had burned all his coal chasing the runaway kite.
Oh my! Oh no! I've run out of coal!
Then the wind blew again. The kite flew high in the sky and was gone.
I can't puff anymore. I can't chase the kite. I'm not the fastest engine on Sodor. I've broken my promise to the children, and I haven't delivered the winner's cup to Knapford Station.
Thomas felt terrible.
It's all my fault.
Suddenly, Thomas heard an engine chuffing around the corner. It was Charlie.
What's wrong, Thomas?
I ran out of coal trying to chase the kite.
I thought you were the fastest engine on Sodor.
I'm not. I was silly to think I could catch the kite on my own. Will you help me, Charlie?
Of course I will, Thomas.
Charlie gave Thomas some of his coal. Soon, Thomas's firebox was burning brightly.
Thank you, Charlie. I'm late. I must deliver the winner's cup to Knapford Station. Can you look for the kite, please?
With all my huff and chuff, Thomas.
So, Thomas puffed to Knapford with the winner's cup. On his way to Knapford, Thomas stopped at a junction. Percy, Emily, and Edward were waiting.
You look sad, Thomas. I didn't catch Sir Topham Hatt's grandchildren's kite. Will you all help me? Of course we will, Thomas.
Right away.
With no delay.
Thomas's friends were happy to help him, and Thomas was happy to be helped. Thomas arrived at Knapford Station with the winner's cup. Sir Topham Hatt's grandchildren raced over.
Hi, Thomas.
They hoped Thomas had found their kite.
I haven't found your kite, but all my friends are looking for it now. Come with me.
So the children climbed cheerfully on board. Thomas puffed to a junction. Suddenly, the kite flew in front of Thomas.
There's the kite.
Emily, Percy, Edward, and Charlie chuffed to the junction. The kite danced between them. Then it caught its tail on the signal.
Hooray! We've caught the kite!
The engines tooted, the children cheered.
With the help of my friends, we caught the kite.
And later that day, at the Kite Festival, Sir Topham Hatt's grandchildren's kite danced best of all, as the wind blew it high up in the sky. And Thomas smiled and smiled.